Yes, we're working on conflict management and the approach of different powers to managing conflict around the world. So we're trying to understand why countries like Russia, China, and Western states have very different approaches to managing armed conflict. Well, it's very interesting because at the moment we're seeing these major shifts in global power, and countries that have always been major powers like China and Russia, but have become increasingly perhaps influential in various ways recently, are having an impact on what has been a dominant Western narrative about how to manage security, how to manage conflict around the world. And so we see in conflicts in Libya, in Syria, now perhaps in Ukraine and Crimea, for example, that you're getting very divergent approaches from Moscow, Washington, and Beijing. There's a lot of misunderstanding between the different sides. Part of that is just about geopolitics, but partly it's about different cultural and historical understandings of what conflict is, what stability is, what a state should look like, whether revolution is good or bad. These are very big questions that are very important to understand. Well, we're looking at this particularly in the context of Central Asia, these former Soviet republics of Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan. And this is an important strategic area of the world that the UK should understand better. And for the UK, as a Security Council member, it needs to understand how to respond to different conflicts. It's a major player in Europe as well, and so it influences European policy towards Russia, towards China. And so we're hoping that we'll have an impact on the way that politicians here frame their policy and help them to understand a little bit better these different responses and why responses are different. It's not just about personalities or about particular politics. There's also some broader historical aspects that are very important to bring to bear. Well, we're still in an early stage, but we're doing some very interesting work talking to our counterparts in Beijing and Shanghai. I was out in China last year talking to many Chinese academics, and it's very interesting getting that dialogue going. Although there's different opinions and different approaches, there's lots of common ground actually, and I think it's very important to stress that there's interesting areas where we can agree and find interesting potential areas of cooperation for the future.